G'day and welcome to the third instalment of GV Bounce. We've got the A team in today, myself, Patrick O'Meara, and our favourite Tasmanian, Damon Francis, for his first appearance. And we're just going to take you through briefly a look at the GV games for this weekend.
Thanks, Pat. Hi, everyone. Our first game of the week is United versus Tatura, and obviously it's a massive game. Pat, just how important is it for United to get a win this week?
It's very, very important. Obviously, 0-2 is not an ideal start for the reigning premiers, but they've got a few boys back in. I think Sammy Dawes is still going to miss, but they'll certainly be strengthened. You obviously had a look at them last week. What did you sort of...
Yeah, got to see him firsthand against Seymour last week, and look, Sean Hoy and Matt Rendina are big ins for United this week. Probably could have had a few more back, but they haven't at this stage. So, look, I think they'll be a lot better for last week's run, and Tatura, though, obviously are going to provide a pretty tough match.
Yeah, Tatura obviously looked very good last week and were pretty handy in the first round against Mooroopna as well. Our second game this week is another cracker, Seymour and Rochester. Obviously, again, you saw Seymour last week. What were your thoughts on them?
Very impressive last week, Seymour. Had their forward line structure working really well. Colbert and Sard as the two targets, and a good movement from their small forwards as well, which was really important. And if they can produce that against Rochester again and keep up their pressure on the ball in the middle, I think Rochester will have a tough game on their hands.
The key forwards certainly loom as the key, with obviously Rochester having Guy Campbell and Elliot Bowen down there as well, so it could be a bit of a shootout there.
For sure. Mansfield and Echuca, another interesting game, both raring to go.
Very interesting game again. Mansfield obviously started very well, and we saw what they did to Shep Swans in the opening round, and they do like playing at home, obviously. Echuca, it's a long way to go, 2.5 hours, obviously, or close to that. So it could be very interesting to see how their young blokes sort of shape up against Mansfield there. The next game, Euroa and Kyabram. First game at Euroa under lights. Obviously, Kyabram are pretty much experts under lights these days.
Yeah, well, they were pretty impressive last week. You got to look at that match as well, and really went down in an nail biter. But will they take much from that game?
Oh, they'll take a lot from that game. Paul Newman was outstanding. His brother in the middle, Dave Newman, was more than handy. But obviously, I saw Euroa in the first round and last week as well. And Euroa were very impressive round one. Not so much last week, and I know from speaking to them this week, they're pretty eager to get back to that round one form. The next game, Benalla and Shepparton. I think you're a bit more familiar with these two sides than I am.
Haven't had a chance to look at Shepparton myself, but really looking forward to it. Obviously, they're in a similar boat. They were great first round with a big win over Echuca, but not so good last time out. Hopefully, they'll be looking to bounce back against Benalla, who, there were a few that weren't sure if they'd get many wins on the board this year, but they got their first one down last week, and they'd be absolutely stoked with that, so they'll be looking to build on that this week as well.
Yep, and they'll be hoping that a few of their Murray Bushrangers boys will be back in there this week as well, and that could certainly boost them. And the last game of the round on Sunday, Mooroopna and Shep Swans, another interesting one.
Yeah, look, Swans desperate for a win. Probably hasn't been the greatest of starts for them, and I don't think it's going to get any easier with Mooroopna, but we'll be looking for a much improved performance. And do they have any chance against Mooroopna?
I think they do. I think last year they gave them a bit of a run, so it was a similar sort of predicament they were in. But Mooroopna, they've only just got home in the first couple of weeks, and obviously against very good sides, but it could be interesting to see how they go, I guess, in a match that they're expected to win quite easily. I guess that pretty much sums it all up, and we'll see you next week.
Thanks for joining us.